Hey Elsa, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. I am extra great because obviously I get to be here with you. But I'm excited to chat with you about the stress-free healthy me and help others understand the benefit from someone who's not me, because let's be real, I'm probably biased. So I just wanted to thank you ahead of time for agreeing to talk to me about this and share the health with all the other people.
For sure. I do this with my family members and anybody else that asks me about my life. So I'm happy to share this too.
Perfect. All right, so let's dive right in. Why did you decide to do the stress-free healthy me team?
I think the reason was because like with 2020 and 2021, I gained about 20 pounds. And it just didn't feel right in my body. I just didn't feel comfortable. And then I had like the first meeting with you. And I remember very specifically, you were like, you can eat fried chicken and still be healthy. And I was like, what? And so that kind of sold me on it.
I remember that moment very vividly as well. Like, what do you mean I can have things I enjoy and still be
Like,
healthy? It's like,
yeah.
you can.
So you got me there.
Yeah, fried chicken, absolutely. So what did you expect you'd get from it when before you like did the program, what did you expect you'd get?
Yeah, I sincerely thought you were going to be like, so here are the foods you can eat, here are the foods you can't eat. You're going to have to work out an hour 5 times a week. You're going to have to do this, you're going to have to do, and like
Mhm.
kind of finger pointing. That's what I thought it was going to be.
I don't think I've pointed my finger once.
I know, but in my head, I'm like, yeah, get
I mean, I
fit.
get it. Like that's what if you look at like all the other diets, every other like program, even when they say like, oh no, it's not a diet, somehow it ends up being a diet because anytime you say you can and you can't, that's black and white thinking. And we naturally have rebellious streaks, so we want to do what we can't, especially when
Yeah,
we're not breaking the law, we're just having some fried chicken,
yeah.
right? So that's what you expected. What did you actually get from it?
Oh, what I got from it was, as corny as this may sound, like self love and self worth through all of these like tools in my toolkit now, to just kind of rebuild my habits and rebuild my beliefs on health and fitness and mental health. So it was like all a combination of those that led to, yeah, just like a lot more self-love and self-worth.
Mm, yeah, that's it's something I didn't like even when because remember, I've struggled with weight. I kind of created this program not only through like all the learning and the experience with my one-on-ones, but even my own experience. And I remember not understanding the impact of our hormones when it comes to being healthy. Like before I became a health coach and I was just a nutrition specialist, I was like, yeah, cortisol, whatever. But like I didn't understand like the inner workings of our body. And seeing that personally, like I'm so dedicated to wanting to feel comfortable in my body, be healthy, like it just feels good. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't realize how much better it could feel doing it like this way. That it's like not shaming, it's not bullying, it's not judgment. It's like working with yourself and wanting to improve because you care about yourself, not because you hate how you look. And like energetically for me, that was a huge shift.
Yeah. And before, and I think when we first started, when you first started as a trainer for me, I remember telling you like my brain will is like a coach to me. It's like, you're gonna do great. Let's get a workout in.
Mhm.
Let's eat healthy. And now it's like, hey, checking in. How are you? And it's just like so much better.
I like that voice. Like, hey, how you been feeling lately?
Yeah, let's check
But yeah,
in.
it's like if we think about when we're trying to coerce our partners or our friends into like doing something like, hey, do you want to go for a hike? Like, it's not, we're gonna go hike. It's like, hey, you want to go for a hike? And can you imagine if like you went to your partner and you're like, we're going for a hike? He'd be like, no. Like what?
Now with that attitude.
Right. So it makes sense, but it's yes, I would absolutely agree. Changing from a space of like love and kindness is way more enjoyable. Who would have known?
Absolutely.
So how did the Stress Free Healthy Me team help you overcome your challenge? You know, you said you gained like 20 pounds. How did it help you move past that, work through that?
I mean, it was the very first step to rewiring my brain and being able to go through that roadblock of like, why do I feel so terrible? Because before I like didn't know what was kind of going on in my body. Like I knew I felt bad, but I wasn't changing any of my habits. So it gave me the tools to change all of those. And yeah, I ended up losing what I had gained through the pandemic.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that picture you sent me the other day of that, what, your skinny dress that you've been holding?
Yeah.
Girl, you look fucking good.
It was a dress that I bought in 2019 and it had been in the back of my closet. And I was like, you know, that mentality of like, when I lose the 10 pounds, when I do this, when I'll do that, I'll wear it. And I was like, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just put it on and go. And that's another thing. It's like self-love. That's one of my
Yeah.
like,
And you
yeah.
look gorgeous. Like, you really did. And I would tell you if you didn't, because I value honesty. So I'm just telling you, honestly, you look good. And you're right. It's like, it's one of those hard things of like, I feel insecure in this outfit, but you know what? Like, I love my body. I can still wear this and continue to improve. And like, there are, you know, lines and everyone has to find their own for that. But I've witnessed myself doing this. Like, I wore a crop top. I was like, what are you? Like,
Yeah.
younger me would not identify me at all because that was just so foreign to me. But self-love for sure. So, how did having the accountability help you?
Oof. Why I was really lucky to have a great group.
Mhm.
They were wonderful. And like we had like a separate text, like chat that we had. And it was just great to have accountability every week. And I remember sometimes, you know, the first steps are always really hard. So sometimes I wouldn't complete the task to 100%, you know, to my best. And I dreaded going in to the meeting. But then when I heard everyone talk about their experiences and all the compassion and the grace that they had for me and the grace that I had for them, then I was like, oh, why can't I have this grace for myself? Like, why can't I just give it to myself naturally? And
Right.
so that was great. So the accountability plus the grace made a difference.
It's like the common humanity element of it. Like, I'm like, obviously, I'm very similar to you in the sense of like, when you give me a task, like, I want it to be like perfect. Like, I want it to be my best effort, 100%. And like, behavior change is messy as hell. Like, there is no perfect, if you ask me, when it comes to behavior change. But that doesn't mean that cognitively that we don't want it to still be that way, and to have support and like, I'm not in it alone type feeling of like, okay, they didn't do it perfectly either. Like, this is what progress looks like because we expect, like, if we don't do it perfectly, we're not going to get the progress. And that's fear speaking. But seeing that we're all in the same boat, okay, they made progress. Okay, they took a step back, and like having the compassion. Honestly, I think it teaches us two things. One, you're showing compassion naturally as like a who you are as a person to others experiencing exactly what you're experiencing, feeling the same type of vulnerability, and you're practicing compassion, which neurally connects those neurons. So then when it comes time for you to show yourself compassion, it's like you're teaching yourself compassion towards yourself by practicing it with others, you know?
Absolutely. And this is a lifelong change. When you say
Yeah.
this, it's like, it's not that I completed this week's thing or next week's thing. It's, I'm taking these small steps
Mhm.
to make a huge difference in my life. And that's what I feel now.
Yeah, 100%. It's like diets imply there's an end date.
Yeah.
Lifestyles don't. Like this is a lifestyle. And like you're gonna have your up moments, you're gonna have your down moments. Like I noticed like right now I'm kind of on like a down moment. I had pizza twice this week and my gut can feel it. It was delicious. I don't regret it. But like the signals my body are sending me is like we need to like be a little bit more attentive this week. And it's like, okay, thank you for letting me know because I do feel that. But having the tools, it's like, okay, your foundation is set. Everything, you know exactly what to do now, or I do, to like make my body feel the way I enjoy it feeling, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you also got our one-on-one time. I'm curious, what was the impact of the one-on-one calls in your opinion?
The one-on-ones I loved because I would come up like, I'm like, hey Laura, I have this issue.
Mhm.
And instead of you saying like, oh, just, cut out gluten or something, you would ask a question and a deeper question and even a deeper question until we got down to like the root belief of whatever was happening. And
Mhm.
so that to me was the biggest takeaway, because it's always like keep asking questions, and sometimes I can't ask them to myself because my brain wants to stay safe and it wants to stay in the habits that I'm in. And here you come bulldozing those
Nope.
over.
Boom.
Yeah.
It's like, you know that reel that's like be like going to the gym, going every day. Bam. It's like asking myself questions. Laura asked me questions.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's it. And again, you always showed compassion, but that is the beauty of the one-on-ones.
Yeah, I mean, it like energetically, like I loved the calls in general because like the bonding, the community, the connection, but the one-on-ones open up so many doors. Like you get to know so much about yourself that like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's scary. That's why our brain doesn't take us there on our own. But I always feel, and tell me if you disagree, that once you kind of get past like that initial like door, so to speak, that fear door, you realize the fear was like more a bigger shadow of something. Like the something
Absolutely.
that you learned is like, oh, okay, like that's not the giant demon I expected behind the door. It was like a puppy with a giant, shadow, so to speak.
Yeah, it's funny because my brain works exactly that way.
Right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's everyone's brain. Like
Mm-hmm.
I sense it in myself. I see it with my husband. I see it with my clients all the time where it's like we're so afraid to like knock on that door of like what's behind this. And what we actually see when we're courageous enough to do it is like, oh, that's it. Like, okay, I can work with that. It's like it's not the like you're hopeless, you're completely worthless, and you should just go run away. Like that never is what we actually find, but somehow that's what our ego, everyone's ego, makes us think is on the other side of the door. So yeah, I love and like big shout out to you because a big piece of this, I don't want to be a crutch to people. I want to be a guide. And like that, you know how important that is to me. I'm pretty sure I say it a million freaking times because as soon as the program's over, if I'm a crutch, then what? And I commend you for how you have owned it. Like still checking up on me, still texting me different things that are happening, like sharing back and forth about like different health apps and stuff. Like I love that. And like allowing me still to champion you, like with the, skinny dress that like was a special moment for you that because we had those one-on-ones in the group, like I can celebrate with you to the extent that I understand it, right? And hearing you work yourself through questions, like if you said like the one-on-ones, like
Yeah.
I would kind of bulldoze you into questions in a very soft, compassionate way, bulldoze, right? But
It's a compassionate
it's
bulldozer.
like you're coming with me, but I love you on the way. But I love hearing you, like when you're stuck still, you'll shoot me a text message. It's like, all right, I've asked this, but I can't get to it. And so I like that you've taken that and supported your toolkit. Like you're still doing the work, and it's a lifestyle, but you created so much clarity within yourself, and like where the marker was in our original like one-on-one time of like questions you were able to answer to like the end of our calls. And even now when you shoot me text messages, like you can jump like 50% ahead of where you were when you first started. Do you recognize that?
I don't think that I consciously recognize it, but because of my state right now, I'm just at a higher state right now. You know, I feel better, which makes me dive even deeper because I want to continue to feel this way. Yeah.
Nothing's better than feeling good.
Oh, or feeling just blissful, you
Yeah.
know, because happy's fleeting, but just
Yeah.
feeling peace and blissful and just enjoying the day.
Yeah. And like knowing we have control over that and like our choices is that's power, if you ask me. But
And a great way to do that, and I would, anybody who's watching, I would definitely recommend is watching the Coffee with Laura's. You have a playlist on YouTube, and I used to watch like makeup tutorials to as like my calm down or like having my coffee in the morning. And then I was like, oh, I wonder if like Laura's uploaded them to YouTube and like she has a playlist. And I'm like, oh, she does. And it's like 10 minutes. And it's just like little reminders to be aware of the day, to be mindful. All of these little nuggets of information, I love them. And if anybody's like interested in taking this program and like just wants to get their feet wet, just to like get a glimpse of the entirety of the program, that's a great way.
yeah, that's a good suggestion. And I'm a big believer, as you know, about like setting yourself up for success in a day. So like I wake up ridiculously early because like it makes me feel good. Not waking up that early. If I had clients later, I would wake up later, but my schedule is my schedule. But priming your brain with like, I always watch some YouTube video, someone talking about development, growth, passion, pursuit, courage, you name it. And it like motivates me. And in a weird way, it makes me like believe it. It's like setting the intention, the energy for the day versus like going to my phone and checking my email and like stressing out. It's like I literally won't let myself look at my phone for the first 2 hours of the day.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
it's very similar. I mean, not that long, but obviously like setting yourself up. So I like that idea. And I like how it's helped you be accountable. Like you've helped build accountability into your own system. But you also said like anyone who is thinking about this program, that would be a great idea. I couldn't agree more. I'm curious, who would you suggest this program to? Like if someone's listening, they're on the fence, like how would you say like this is for you or this is not for you?
I mean, obviously, anyone who wants to lose weight and is tired of diets, that's like a given.
Yeah.
But also anyone that's like bullying themselves, that to me hurts my soul.
Mhm.
Anyone who's like, oh, if I only lose 10 pounds, then I'll be happy. If I only get this promotion, then I'll be successful. If I only, the grass is greener on the other side kind of person. Because it's now like being happy, being content, feeling successful is in the moment. It's not somewhere out there. And I think that while this is a health program, it's also like a mental health and a physical, it's all combined because it all kind of goes together.
Right, right. Yeah, I think the latter of it, it's hard to hear how mean people are to themselves, even though like we know we've been there and we've done it to ourselves. It's like, there's a better way. You can do it and be nice to your like that's what I feel like I need like a megaphone to like yell from the top of the mountain. So thank you. So last two questions for you. What were your key takeaways from the program?
I may butcher this, so please check me, but figuring out that rewiring my brain, having self-love and self-worth, but realizing that everything comes from like a belief that influences a thought, that influences an emotion, that becomes an action, a habit,
Hormone.
hormone
And
habit.
then, yep.
Yeah, so like figuring all of that out and being able again to continue to ask the question and ask the question and go back to the root of things. um I don't know what I would do without that knowledge.
Yeah. Like one of my favorite questions now that like I've done this and practiced this is like when I'm feeling that like negative energy, I'm like, what am I believing to be true right now?
Mm-hmm.
And if I like hit a, say it.
It takes practice to get
Oh
to that.
yeah. It absolutely does. Like if you're just listening to this and you've never done that, that's not the question for you.
No.
But like if you have done this, if you have asked yourself questions, if you have curiously gotten to know yourself, because you can't, and you know this, that's the whole reason of like the self-love, you can't judge yourself to like, what are you believing right now? Like that's not gonna, your brain's gonna be like, screw you, man, I'm not telling you crap. Like not if you talk to me like that, but I've also run into walls where it's like, okay, what am I believing to be true about myself right now?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes it's about the world and sometimes it's about myself. But like I did this literally on Thursday and I sat in my car for 15 minutes and the clarity and like cleanse I got when the answer came to me, like my answer was you're personalizing someone else's narrative. And I was like, dang it. I'm like, that is not mine. That is theirs. Like that is not their story about me is their story about me. That is not my story. That is not my truth. And like once I remembered that, it was like, drop
Yeah.
the 1,000 pounds off your shoulders. But yes,
Oh, it's a great feeling.
it's a great feeling. All right. Last question. What are you most grateful for your participation in the program?
Having that peace of mind now, like not having that coach in my head telling me like yeah, that to me I'm eternally grateful. And the knowledge, the tools, I I don't know, I'm just grateful for it all.
I mean, I love it. This is the reward. It's like I've been there, obviously, and I've seen the other way out. And I know, like, for the people who are not on the other side, how scary it is, like, invest in this type of program. Like, what if it doesn't work? And to be able to, like, see where you started and, like, be able to celebrate where you are, like, can you think of anything that feels better?
No. And what I love is I don't feel like I'm a different person. I feel like I've gone back to who I am. You
Mm,
know, like that it is that's what the program is about. It's like putting away all of those layers, taking them all away and just being truthful to myself and to who I am.
absolutely. Absolutely. There's nothing like we're not taught the value of like our natural intuition.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so powerful. So it is like a reset button that it's priceless. It really
Mm-hmm.
is. So, well, thank you as always for like participating in the program, trusting me through the entire journey, but also like being open and vulnerable to share with other people because as you know, I want to help as many people as possible. And I know hearing some things from you and how you experience it will help people understand what they're getting themselves into and what to expect. So thank you as always for your compassion toward yourself, your love towards yourself, and just being a beautiful butterfly here with me.
Aw, thank you. I mean, I don't know where I would be without the program. Sincerely, like you know me, I don't lie. I can't picture it. I I don't know where I would be miserable. Pretty much, like back to where it was. I just feel so great and so grateful. And thank you to you and like everybody in my team. They're
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
No, thank you, and I'm sure we will chat again soon.